championship up for grabs as we replay the Grand Prix final.
And the one thing I point out here, 203.8 and 204.2. These guys came in way underweight, which is telling you they worked their butts off to get prepared for this fight.
With the official introductions for tonight's main event, here is Michael C. Williams.
Live on Showtime tonight from Chicago, the top. After a dominant run through the Grand Prix early rounds, the #1 ranked contender now with 16 professional victories, 5 losses. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the Illinois native, the challenger, Kori Anderson. And across the cage, the champion tonight fights out of the red corner at 6 foot, weighing in 203.8 pounds. Tonight, he again attempts his 3rd world title defense, entering with 15 professional victories, only 2 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the defending Bellator light heavyweight world champion, Vadim Neмкov. And when the bell rings, the referee in charge, Jason Herzog.
Okay, fighters, gone over the rules in the back. This is for the light heavyweight championship. If you want to touch gloves, go ahead and do it now. Come out ready to fight.
Bellator Grand Prix belt and the Bellator Light Heavyweight Championship both up for grabs. And don't forget that $1 million bonus check. The rematch.
Ready.
Anderson,
Ready.
Neмкov starts now. And in their first meeting back in April, Neмкov and even Kori Anderson expected it, John. Just like that, Neмкov utilizing kicks, able to establish the jab, the footwork, and had a good opening round in their first meeting.
He did. But I think during one of those kicks in that first meeting, he got checked.
Yes.
And I think it hurt his foot, and I think he went away from those kicks.
Good point.
And it made a big difference in the fight. Kori Anderson took over from that point. He cannot have that happen in this match.
There's a double jab that lands for Neмкov. And again lands the jab on Anderson. Of course, Kori Anderson working his striking. Oh, 1-2 from the champion with Mark Henry, who was, of course, big factor. Boy, much faster start to the rematch, John, for Kori Anderson especially.
Kori is starting really faster, but you saw that takedown attempt. You saw him spin out of it and actually land the back fist. That's what Vadim needs to do. Do not let him get the free opportunity and not have to pay for it.
Mentioned Mark Henry, of course. He was behind the legendary Frankie Edgar, who his illustrious career came to an end last week. And I know how much he's inspired Kori Anderson as well. Frankie Edgar more hard than Valentine's Day, and I know he's watching tonight. But for Kori Anderson now here in this first minute and a half of the fight, been on the receiving end of some counter shots like this from Neмкov.
Neмкov has been very successful with that right hand landing against Kori. Kori needs to be very careful. It would behoove Kori to start moving towards his right a little bit to take some of the sting off of that right hand.
The crowd looking to rally Kori, but he gets tagged again. The jab in full effect for Vadim Neмкov. And Anderson has hinted at going for the takedown, but Neмкov has been able to stop him, and Neмкov really working behind the jab, John.
This is very similar to what we saw.
Single leg.
First, this is the difference. You see the tree topping. That's something that you don't get out of the international wrestling. You get a lot of it out of folk style. Beautiful body lock takedown. Right back up to his feet. That's a big element for Vadim right there, but Kori's still on it.
Nice scramble, nice slip, and good start to this rematch for the light heavyweight crowd. Just past the the midpoint of the first round.
See, and this works very well for Kori because even when he's not successful, he's pushing the pace on Vadim. He's making Vadim work. And one thing we know about Kori, he's got a big gas tank, big lungs, and he knows if he's tired, he's making you tired.
And he's got good head movement as well, able to slip and rip the counter, but Nemkov has been effective with the jab. Under 2 minutes left here in the first. Anderson comes forward, overhand right, misses.
Kori needs to settle down with those hands as far as winging the big shot. He's going to do better. He's got a very good, stiff, straight jab. Use that, and the right hand straight down the pipe.
Anderson susceptible to those low kicks, and Vadim Nemkov just attacked the lead leg again, and both miss. The swinging punches. A minute and a half left in what has been a fast start to this rematch. Fedor Emelianenko, he will challenge Ryan Bader for the heavyweight title in what has been now confirmed as his retirement fight of what is a legendary career, February 4th on CBS. But right now, he is watching his protege, Vadim Nemkov, defend the title.
There might have been a little clash of the heads again on that takedown attempt. And this is, although Kori Anderson is not getting these takedowns, he's making Vadim have to deal with them, and that is an important element. And they did clash heads.
Right uppercut though by Anderson.
That clash of heads happened again. Nobody was cut. That's good, but these guys are going after him.
And there's a right cross that connects for Nemkov, and Anderson misses, lunging in with the left hook. 30 seconds left in the round. Again, much like the first meeting, a strong start in the striking department of the first round for the... Oh! Vadim Nemkov! Getting back kick! Dropped Anderson. Anderson bounces to his feet, snatches a single, but high drama at the end of the round. And you talk about the kicking of Vadim Nemkov, clipped the challenger and dropped him before the end of the round, John.
That thing just grazed off of Kori Anderson's head. Look, boom, right off the top, but it hit it with enough power. It definitely rocked him, put him down. You saw Vadim actually take a kick that never touched anything, so it doesn't matter. But so it was a big shot. Here's that head clash. Boom, they both come together as Kori's reaching for that takedown attempt. A nice round again. Vadim Nemkov winning the first round of this matchup just like he did the first time.
But hit the jab first.
He's hitting you on the spot on that jab. Like when you're going under, he's going under your jab. Kori, more trying on those shots.
The stats that stand out after that first round, 28-8 total strikes landed in favor of Nemkov. 0 for 4 in the takedown department for Kori Anderson.
Which is a huge element. That's what we talked about.
You ready? Fight.
And although Kori looks good right now, we're going to see what effect that kick had in this round.
I mentioned the stats. What about the unofficial score, John, on your scorecard?
Well, I have Vadim Nemkov winning that round 10-9.
For the reasons we've talked about.
Absolutely. I love the pressure that Kori Anderson continues to try to put. That was a big shot landed by Vadim.
Anderson looking to close the distance. Nemkov able to keep that from happening. Body kick by Nemkov.
So far, what we've seen, Mauro, is that trip down to American Top Team and all the wrestling that he did there is starting to pay off in this fight.
Training with the likes of newly minted Bellator middleweight champion Johnny Evelyn and others. And you're right, the first fight, Nemkov talked about overtraining, having had other issues, but spent some time in this camp in Thailand working on his striking, and down at ATT working on his wrestling. And it's a striking display here tonight as Anderson looks for the takedown, stuffed by Neмкov.
Now, Neмкov used a lot of energy in picking Anderson up, sliding him up right there. So that's a good thing for Kori as far as to continue to go back to it, make him have to use that power. Nice lead hook.
Yeah, lead left hook there by the champion Neмкov. And again leads with the left. Feinting by Anderson, unable to pull the trigger. And it's the movement, the pressure, the speed of Vadim Neмкov. Although Anderson landed the jab, and again Anderson looking for the takedown. Clinches with Neмкov. Bigger Anderson trying to back Neмкov to the cage. And Neмкov doing a good job. Look at this battle, John.
Fantastic job of continuing the circle, not allowing Kori to push him into the cage.
Interesting, the grip and the way he's keeping his arms out and able to break off and reset at the center of the cage. So a great start to this rematch for the defending champion, Vadim Neмкov. Spinning back kick again for Neмкov. And there, Anderson slipping the jab and doesn't return fire.
Oh, very nice little head movement left and right by Kori.
2 minutes left in the second. Crowd here in Chicago looking to rally. Illinois, Kori Anderson in the biggest fight of his life.
Really looks like Kori Anderson shook off that kick that landed at the end of the first round. He's not showing any effects from it. He's looking good.
Spinning back fist attempt by Neмкov.
Both these guys throwing a lot of heat at times.
Neмкov has already thrown 137 strikes with just over a minute left here in the second round total. And there's Anderson. That's with the left.
That was a nice left hand. Missed that opportunity on the takedown. Just came up with the left hand.
Final 60 seconds of the second stanza inside. Low kick by Anderson and timeout after. Anderson got popped.
There's an accident, inside kick. You got to keep it a little higher, okay? You're right there.
Not sure how clean it landed, but it did land. You could hear it.
Yeah, Anderson popping Neмкov. And wow,
that's pretty clean.
To split the uprights.
Neмкov obviously didn't hurt him. Right back to it.
Back to it, indeed.
Which says a lot when you're thinking about it, because if he was getting tired, would he not have taken more time? Because he's in control that time. So obviously he's feeling good in this fight right now.
Oh, and a much better second stanza for the defending champion compared to what happened in their first meeting when Anderson was able to secure the takedowns.
Kori really looking to put the pressure on Vadim.
Anderson scores with a calf kick at the end of the second, but the numbers favor the light heavyweight champion, Vadim Neмкov, who will receive instructions from one of the greatest to ever do it, Fedor Emelianenko, and his coach, Conan Silveira.
Вначале пробивал хорошо, а сейчас ты ее кидаешь вот сюда. Он ее перекрывает, он видит, перекрывает. Понял? Поэтому ногу прикорми, разок-два. Когда сближаетесь, рвешь дистанцию.
He's going spot on you. You got to keep moving the head. He's going here, he's going here, he's going here. He's throwing the two right here. So you got to make sure that you're getting your head to the outside. That's why side two is working to get your head off. He's getting you have to go body head. He's lowering his volume. The 31 is there, but you got to get to the hip.
Very good advice from the corner of Kori Anderson. Ricardo Almeida and Mark Henry giving him advice about where he needs to put himself as far as head movement and where Vadim is putting himself so they can land shots. We'll see if it works for him.
Round number 3. Double jab, double pump in the jab is the defending champion. Well, Kori Anderson looking again for the takedown, and again defended by Neмкov. Now 0 for 7 for Kori Anderson.
Completely different than the first time they matched up.
And you mentioned it, the specific reason he went to Florida was to work on his wrestling, both offensively and, more importantly, defensively.
That's exactly why. The defense was the biggest part. Get used to the way a folk-style wrestler goes after that single or double leg. That Kori utilizes the tree topping, and he's done very well at stopping all of it so far.
Neмкov has done a great job of continuing to land the jab and to keep Kori Anderson from delivering punches. Blood on the face, along the eye, the right eye of Vadim Neмкov. Double jab again by the champ. Doesn't follow with the right hand, and he has a good right hand as well.
He's got a very good right hand, a lot of power on it.
There's a left to the body, the jab to the face of Anderson. And Neмкov ducking underneath that sweeping left hook from Anderson. Anderson looking to time the shot, and again under overhook, and now a clinch by Neмкov. He's done a tremendous job of stymieing the takedown attempts.
Yes, he has. But the one thing, if you're Kori Anderson, do not get frustrated by that. Just continue on. Say, nope, didn't get that one. Let me just keep working. But Kori Anderson now has a cut over his right eye.
1, 2, 3 by Neмкov. Neмкov looking for the takedown. Anderson putting on the pressure.
That was a big one. When you saw Neмкov back off, again, there was a clash. Now it was on his jaw, but Kori Anderson's head clashed into the jaw of Neмкov.
Anderson lands the right, slipping his head to the left. Left hook, and now the crowd beginning to sense that Kori Anderson trying to work his way back into this fight. Midway point of the 3rd.
A lot of people, they don't realize, first off, Kori cannot strike with his head in any fashion, and we have had people that the head landing on the jaw hurts the person enough to put him down, knock him out. It definitely can do damage.
There's a counter jab from Kori Anderson. 2 minutes left in the 3rd round, and Neмкov, not as many kicks in this round. Well, I'd say that he goes for one, of course he does.
Well, he hurt you.
But it's pressure from Anderson, and yet the terrific takedown defense of Vadim Neмкov. Now 0 for 10, John, in the takedown department for Kori Anderson, which, let's face it, the takedowns, ground and pounds, is bread and butter.
And right now, Neмкov is just slowly adding up as far as the strikes. He's the one landing. He's throwing more. He's landing a little bit more. Kori's going to have to up the accuracy. Looked like a mouthpiece came out.
Neмкov doubling up on the jab, but not following it up with the right hand. 60 seconds left in the 3rd round.
And you got to wonder, maybe he hurt his right hand somewhere along here, because as you're saying, he is really using that left hand a lot, but being very, very frugal in when he throws the right, like he just did.
Definitely judicious when it comes to delivering the right. Meanwhile, there's a left from Anderson. So, in the first fight, a strong start by the champion in the opening round, thanks to his jab and kicks. But the 2nd and 3rd was all about the takedown and the offensive top pressure, the ground and pound from Anderson. Anderson before the clash of heads in the final seconds of the third, and we are wrapping up the third round here in the rematch, but a much different fight.
Completely different fight right now. The difference being Kori has not been able at any moment to get this fight to the ground other than one scrambling moment.
After he throws, he's getting it. So counter with the body shot. Body shot right, body shot left. Just be careful of those splits. You might go with a hex because you're over splitting. You follow what I'm saying? Keep those hands up and you're splitting. He's going dumb and chat. Okay. We need the next 2 rounds, Kori. We gotta get the next 2. We don't know. The last 2 you could have won, but we need the next 2. You gotta give me 3.
Hey, it's time to take over, Kori.
Heading into the championship rounds, and Vadim Nemkov, and we've seen in the past where he's had some issues with the gas tank in the later stages of fights, but here tonight it's a good pace for the champion. He seems in much better shape than he did in their first meeting, and for Kori Anderson, you talk about not wanting to get frustrated. He does have to make adjustments.
He does. He's going to have to change up his ability to land the shot because, first off, he's not throwing as much as Nemkov, and he's not landing as much. So it's just a matter of, then you look at power. Well, Nemkov's been landing with power. Kori's landed a couple of good ones, but it's a matter of he's just not having enough of the wrestling. It hasn't gotten him into him, and he hasn't been able to take him down, and that's what makes Kori so deadly.
And Anderson doesn't check those low kicks to the lead leg again. A shot from long distance, telegraphed, read beautifully by Nemkov, who continues to work the jab, follows it up with a right uppercut. And you saw the unofficial scorecard of Big John McCarthy. It's Nemkov pitching a shutout. And now, there's Anderson crushing space and has Nemkov along the fence, but immediately the champion able to spin out, reset.
Kori throws a nice jab, but the counter by Vadim lands with a little bit more. And normally it's Kori Anderson that is the better counter striker.
Right.
He does a great job with his counter strikes. And in this matchup, he has actually been out counter striked by Vadim for most of it.
Matt Nemkov really loves to use what is a really important punch, and we've talked about it throughout our time working together. The jab is so effective in all forms of combat sports, and it's proven to be a punch that's dictating the terms of this fight for Nemkov.
Absolutely, man. If you've got a good, stiff, straight jab, you can set another fighter back on their heels at any moment in the fight, and that takes energy away from them. It sets them off balance. It makes them feel not comfortable in the fight. Right there, beautiful low calf kick.
Yes.
He needs to go right back to it. After knocking him down with that, go right back just like he just did.
And it is definitely taking a toll on Kori Anderson's takedown attempts. We're becoming more and more telegraphed.
Absolutely. When you take away that foundation, like you're seeing happen right now with Nemkov and those kicks, it makes it very difficult for Kori to utilize that foundation to get those takedowns.
Which again, the mouth guard is out of the mouth of Vadim Nemkov, and frustration beginning to show on the part of Kori Anderson, who not going according to game plan so far tonight. Beautiful jab and the outside low kick by Nemkov.
Yeah, we're going to see if Kori starts to change his stance, because that low calf kick is starting to eat up his left leg.
And he is eating far too many jabs to the face, John.
You know, and his corner told him, hey, we need you to win these 2 rounds. And he's trying. He's going after it. He's just not landing at the same volume as Nemkov.
8th Bellator light heavyweight champion, defeated current heavyweight champ Ryan Bader via second-round TKO at Bellator 244 in August of 2020. Anderson coming forward, John.
That was a good right hand landed by Anderson that started it. We'll see if he can.
Looking for the takedown, but continues to be shut down. And man, that mouth guard does not want to stay in the mouth.
Continue to fight, because right now Corey Anderson has a chance at a takedown. Jason Herzog is not going to stop this. Now he'll stop it.
Stop right there, in your mouth. One more. Ready?
When Corey Anderson was in the UFC, he was a takedown machine and has used those takedown abilities to make it to the final of the Grand Prix. Tonight, Corey Anderson, with 30 seconds left in the penultimate round, is 0 for 13 in the takedown department. Neмкov with a quick peek at the clock, and he is content to let the jab go, continue to keep Anderson at bay, continue to keep Anderson from taking him down.
Опять такой же раунд. Можно туда-сюда. Понимаешь? Ты весь раунд набираешь, вроде бы перетыкиваешь, вроде бы, но он потом раз, 2-3 атаки, его вниз садятся. И потом нельзя допускать. И концовочку пробует, но оставалось.
Take a look at the right hand here by Neмкov. Almost Superman punch. You see Corey swinging after it. Misses completely. But this kick right here, and this was the difference in this round, that low calf kick. Neмкov, if you want to talk about the most damaging things that happened in that round, it was that right there, the low kicks by Neмкov on Corey's lead leg. It made a big difference in this round.
Nemkov's ability to stymie the takedown, effective in the jabbing department, and we know, we talked about Anderson's vulnerability to those crushing leg kicks. 5th and final round. Who will emerge? Grand Prix champion, $1 million richer, and the right to call themselves Bellator light heavyweight champion. It's Vadim Nemkov, light on his feet to kick off round 5, and he continues to sting Anderson with the jab and those low kicks.
Look, he's going to basics that are working for him, and he keeps on going back to them. You can't blame him. That left jab has been fantastic throughout this fight. The low calf kick has done damage. Corey needs to figure out a way to come inside and do damage with his hands that could put him in a position to possibly take it down and get to that ground and pound that he's so effective with.
Corey Anderson told us that he is still fighting to make believers out of his doubters, and everyone who, over the years, from odds makers to even people, media, to former bosses, he wanted his respect, he demanded his respect. Here in Bellator, began his Bellator career, 3 consecutive TKO finishes, and after the no contest in their first meeting, unable to get on track thanks to the improvements of the champion, Vadim Nemkov.
And this is where you've got 2 great fighters. Man, you never know. One night could be Corey Anderson's night. One night could be Vadim Nemkov's. This could go where we have a trilogy, and it could change. But both guys putting a lot out right now. Beautiful right hand by Vadim Nemkov.
Well, Anderson has less than 3.5 minutes to change the complexion of this fight. And there, Nemkov going for the spinning attack again. Anderson moving in. There's the left hand from Anderson. Anderson again. Oh, trying the takedown and get, yes, John, eats the knee and the inability for Anderson to even set up the takedown is a little surprising. 0 for 15.
It's amazing when you think about it. When you know how good Corey is with his takedowns, the fact that Nemkov has stopped that throughout this fight
A bravura performance in the takedown defense department by Vadim Neмкov.
Well, he definitely is going to owe a steak dinner to everybody over at ATT that helped him to get to this point. Again, unable to bring him down.
And even Corey Anderson moved to a gym in Indianapolis from, working in New Jersey. And, of course, we know what Mark Henry has meant to him. But on this night, with 2:19 now left in the fight, Corey Anderson needs something dramatic to happen.
And it's so hard at this point with everything that's happened to fight. Your arms are full of lactic acid, real heavy. You're still trying to go after it like you're seeing Corey do right here.
Final 2 minutes. Hometown crowd trying to rally the challenger.
Oh!
Crossed by Neмкov.
Solid right hand landed by Neмкov there.
There's another calf kick by the champion.
Well, I'll tell you, you can see how that's starting to really stiffen up on Corey. Corey's showing a lot of heart right now, Morrow.
Yes. But sometimes, as one of his good friends, Frankie Edgar, found out too, sometimes heart isn't enough. And we find out here tonight that Corey Anderson, unable to land a single takedown against the champion. Vadim Neмкov, meanwhile, has thrown 360 strikes, landed 137 compared to Anderson, who is 64 for 175. Vadim Neмкov came in 7-0 with the 1-0 contest here in Bellator, and bouncing back with one of his more impressive performances as champion, especially when you consider what Corey Anderson is usually capable of.
Absolutely, this is a great performance because we know how good Corey Anderson is as a fighter. This is a guy that's got everything. He's got the wrestling, the stand-up, the gas tank, and Vadim Neмкov has matched that throughout this night. It's been a very impressive performance.
Vadim Neмкov shutting down Corey Anderson in all facets of the fight.
Throughout the night, that jab and that right hand found the mark on Corey Anderson. Corey coming back with some counters, but trying to avoid that jab caused him a lot of distress in that uppercut. Then the low kicks came in and just ate up the left leg of Corey Anderson throughout this fight. A couple of head clashes happened again between Corey and Neмкov, and it's just the way their styles match up. No one was intentionally doing anything wrong, but wow, what a performance by Vadim Neмкov, coming back and just being a takedown defender.
And a championship defender. As Vadim Neмкov did what was necessary, went to ATT in Florida, worked on his wrestling, American freestyle style of wrestling, and Fedor Emelianenko, who again will have an opportunity to close out his incredible career by winning the Bellator Heavyweight Championship in a rematch with Ryan Bader, who knocked Fedor out. That'll happen February 4th on CBS, but right here, right now, Vadim Neмкov appears to be, well, there should be no doubt about it. Vadim Neмкov should remain undefeated in the Bellator cage and should remain light heavyweight champion, adding $1 million to his bank account.
A couple in the first round? I didn't even see it.
Corey Anderson, always a student of the game, already breaking down the performance and analyzing it. Who will be the Bellator light heavyweight world Grand Prix winner, light heavyweight champion, and $1 million richer? Michael C. Williams has the answer.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the decision, we go now to your 3 judges at cage side. Your first judge, Brian Pucillo, scores the fight 48-47. Judge Rob McCarthy, 49-46. And your third and final judge, Sal D'Amato, 49-46. All have it for the winner by unanimous decision. Now the $1 million winner of the light heavyweight world Grand Prix, and still Bellator light heavyweight world champion, Vadim Neмкov.
The Trosso performance from Vadim Neмкov shatters Corey Anderson's dreams of becoming a champion. Big John McCarthy is standing by with the winner and still Bellator champion.
I'm here with the winner, Vadim Neмкov. Vadim, you put on a masterful performance. There was 15 takedown attempts by Corey Anderson during that fight, and he got absolutely 0. What was the difference that made you able to stop those takedowns this time?
Вадим, отлично ты выступил. Кори Андерсон пытался 15 раз тебя повалить в партер, и все эти 15 раз ты защитил. Почему в этот раз ты смог это сделать?
Потому что я хорошо подготовился. У меня не было никаких подводных камней. И я развил очень высокую скорость, против которой он ничего не смог сделать. В этом заключался мой секрет успеха. Как я говорил, я в реваншах всегда побеждаю, если в меня не верят.
He said, just because I was well prepared, I wasn't distracted, and I kept a very high pace and a lot of movement. And like I said, in rematches, I never lose. You guys didn't believe me.
Not that I didn't believe you, but your left hand, your jab, and that low calf kick were a difference maker in this fight. Was that the plan you had coming in?
Левый удар, джеб и лоу-кик очень помогли тебе в этом бою. Это был план на бой? Именно использовать эти приемы?
Да, я хотел держать его на джебе на расстоянии. Я знаю, что он на переднюю ногу сильно опирался, я хотел ее разбить. Но у меня получилось то, что я нарабатывал. Левый джеб, держать его на дистанции, разбить переднюю ногу. Иногда я подключал правую, но он хорошо держит удар, поэтому не получилось свалить его.
He said, yeah, that was a game plan, to keep him away with the jab, and then he's front foot heavy, so I wanted to make sure I kick it and then use the right hand when I can, but he's pretty good at taking punches, so.
Well, I want to congratulate you as the Bellator light heavyweight champion and the Bellator World Grand Prix light heavyweight champion. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Vadim Neмкov.
Vadim Neмкov celebrating with the legend.
On February 4th, from the Forum in Inglewood, California, Vadim Nemkov's next opponent will be Yoel, the Soldier of God, Romero. They will face off on CBS February 4th from the Forum.
So Vadim Neмкov, fresh off of retaining the title in the Grand Prix final, he will next defend the crown against Yoel Romero as part of that block